post-World War I Europe was a landscape of economic despair and simmering resentment. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to secure peace, instead fueled German nationalism and a thirst for revanche. Amidst this turmoil, extremist ideologies found fertile ground. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power, promising renewed national pride and economic recovery. Their expansionist ambitions, coupled with Italy's fascism and Japan's militarism, began to dismantle the fragile international order. The League of Nations proved ineffective, unable to prevent aggressive acts like the invasion of Manchuria or Ethiopia, setting a dangerous precedent for the decade to come. The fragile peace definitively shattered on September 1, 1939. Germany, under Hitler's command, launched a devastating blitzkrieg or lightning war against Poland. This swift, overwhelming assault, utilizing combined arms tactics of tanks, aircraft, and infantry, caught the world off guard. Despite a valiant defense, Poland was rapidly overrun. Britain and France, having pledged to defend Poland's sovereignty, issued ultimatums to Berlin. When these demands were ignored, they declared war on Germany on September 3, 1939. This marked the official beginning of World War II, a conflict that would soon engulf the globe. The early years of the war saw rapid Axis victories. Germany quickly conquered Denmark, Norway, Belgium, and the Netherlands. The most shocking blow came with the fall of France in June 1940, achieved through a daring thrust through the Ardennes forest. Britain stood alone, facing the relentless aerial assaults of the Luftwaffe during the Battle of Britain. Though severely tested, the Royal Air Force, aided by radar technology, managed to repel the invasion threat, a crucial turning point for Allied morale. Meanwhile, Italy, under Mussolini, joined the Axis, expanding the conflict into North Africa and the Mediterranean. In June 1941, Hitler betrayed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. This opened the devastating Eastern Front, a theater marked by unprecedented scale and brutality. Millions of soldiers clashed in titanic battles, and the invasion pushed German forces deep into Soviet territory. Months later, on December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. This audacious act brought the United States, a sleeping giant, into the war. The conflict was now truly global, spanning continents and oceans, drawing in almost every major nation. The middle years of the war saw critical turning points that halted the Axis advance. In the east, the brutal Battle of Stalingrad, lasting from August 1942 to February 1943, decimated the German Sixth Army and marked the beginning of the Soviet counteroffensive. In the Pacific, the Battle of Midway in June 1942 was a decisive victory for the U.S. Navy, crippling Japan's carrier fleet and shifting the balance of power. Meanwhile, Allied forces pushed back in North Africa, culminating in the invasion of Italy. These victories, though costly, demonstrated that the Axis powers were not invincible, laying the groundwork for future offensives. With the tide turned, the Allies launched their greatest offensive, D-Day. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, opening a massive second front in Western Europe. This monumental amphibious invasion, coupled with the Soviet advance from the east, began to squeeze Nazi Germany from two sides. After intense fighting, including the Battle of the Bulge, Allied armies pushed deeper into Germany. Hitler, facing inevitable defeat, committed suicide in his bunker. Berlin fell to Soviet forces, and on May 8, 1945, Germany surrendered unconditionally, marking victory in Europe Day. While Europe celebrated, the war raged on in the Pacific. American forces, employing an island-hopping strategy, fought their way across vast stretches of ocean, facing fierce Japanese resistance in battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa. Casualties mounted on both sides, and the prospect of a full-scale invasion of mainland Japan promised unimaginable bloodshed. To hasten the war's end and potentially save millions of lives, President Truman made the fateful decision to use a new, devastating weapon. On August 6, 1945, the atomic bomb Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima, followed by Fat Man on Nagasaki on August 9. The atomic bombings compelled Japan to surrender on August 15, 1945, officially ending World War II. The cost of the war was staggering, an estimated 70 to 85 million deaths, both military and civilian, making it the deadliest conflict in human history. Entire cities lay in ruins, economies were shattered, and millions were displaced. In its wake, a new geopolitical landscape emerged. The United Nations was formed to prevent future global conflicts, while the ideological division between the Soviet Union and the Western Allies quickly escalated, setting the stage for the decades-long Cold War that would define the latter half of the 20th century.